What is going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new Division 2 beta video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about my first-hand experiences with the Division 2 beta, what I think about it, giving all of my good and bad ideas about the game as of right now. So hopefully you guys do enjoy the video. If you do, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. And yeah, it just feels really good to be back. It feels really good in general to just have a game that I find amusing and interesting and fun to be able to play. Obviously, the beta is only going to last a couple of days until the actual game comes out itself in March, but in general, it feels really good to play this game, and I'm happy to be back. So let's get alright, guys. So getting right into the video, we're going to talk about the negatives first. We're going to talk about some bugs that are just happening, just some basic bugs that are going to happen just due to the fact that we are honestly playing on a beta, so it's not the finished product of the game. Things like the sniper delay, jitter, getting delta every couple of minutes, like glitched game sounds where like if a lot of explosions or like a lot of stuff happens around you at the exact same time, either your game crashes, it like dashboards, it deltas, or sometimes you just like lose game sound for like 4 or 5 seconds at a time. So next, I want to talk about the attachments, and I guess the fire rate could have something to do with the attachments as well. But as of right now, like the attachments that you have to like earn or buy, whatever you want to call it, in the base of operations from the quartermaster, don't really feel as if they're worth it at all. There's maybe like 1 or 2 attachments that you can put on any of the guns in the game, but for the most part, as of right now, they don't really help a lot, and you're probably better off not even using them at all. For example, if you're using a sniper rifle with like the 8x zoom, I believe it's something like 20% accuracy that you get gained from it as a positive, but the negative to it is that you lose like 15 or 20% crit chance or crit damage. I'm not sure which one it is, but at any point in the Division life cycle of either games, I don't think there's ever a time with a sniper where you'd rather have more accuracy and trade it for any version of critical hit chance, headshot damage, or critical hit damage, at least in my personal opinion. And I think that is a huge no-no just in general for a scope. I mean, you're not really gaining anything out of it anyway, since it's a bolt-action sniper rifle for the most part, so you don't really need all that much accuracy since you're only shooting 1 bullet at a time. But obviously, that's just my opinion. And then also, this is literally one of the first things that I did when I hopped on the beta for the first time, because if you guys don't know, people use Cronus's a lot in the Division 1 for the Dark Zone and anything PvP, meaning that pretty much they can shoot any version of like a single shot or a burst weapon in the game and pretty much make it completely fully automatic. I know some people are saying there's a fire cap, but it sure as hell does not feel like there is a fire cap with pistols. With the M1A, there's sort of a fire cap, but there's definitely some guns that you can go around and test if you guys want to, and see how high you can get that fire rate to go, because as of right now, I definitely don't feel like there's a fire rate cap for pretty much any gun in the game. So next up, I want to talk about pretty much the most controversial thing right now that everyone's talking about, and that's the movement speed and just the movement in general. For me personally, I don't feel like it's too fast or it's too slow. I think it's pretty much just right in terms of running speed. But I do personally believe that I feel like some specific movements, meaning like jumping on boxes and stuff, and just like climbing things and jumping over walls, pulling out your grenades, swapping weapons, pulling out your skills, throwing grenades, stuff like that. I just feel like it's a tad bit slow. I don't feel like it's like super slow where like you're gonna get killed because of it. You might sometimes, like if you're super weak, but I don't feel like it's something that's groundbreaking, but I do feel like it is just a tad bit slow compared to how everything else is paced in the game, at least for me. Next, I also wanted to focus on the dark zones. The reason why I say dark zones is because we don't have one big dark zone anymore. We have 3 separate dark zones, obviously. It is the beta, so we're only get to play in the 1 dark zone as of right now. I don't know if they're going to add the other 2 for us to play, but right now we're only able to play in the 1 dark zone, which is the normalized dark zone. And right now it seems like, at least for me personally on console, Xbox One, it seems like the lobbies are just so very dead in the dark zone. You would really think, with the fact that the dark zones are like 3 or 4 times smaller than the original dark zone Division 1, with 12 players compared to the 18 or 24 it was in Division 1, you personally would feel like you would find a lot more people faster and more consistently in the dark zone for Division 2, but I find myself never finding anyone, and if I do find someone, it's the same kid that I kill over and over and over again. I understand that every dark zone is different, so you have the normalized one, which is, I guess you can kind of say like the kiddie dark zone. Is made for PvEers and PvPers, so you can go rogue and do everything that you can do in a normal dark zone, but everyone is sort of set to the the same plateau level where you're not going to be higher than someone just because you have all orange gear and they have all orange gear too, but maybe they don't have the same amount of armor or something. So I can see where they're coming from that with the 2 other Dark Zones as well, kind of being like the for real Dark Zones. But I guess we'll have to see until the actual game comes out to see how the 3 Dark Zones pan out. But for right now, I really personally just would have liked having one big Dark Zone rather than having 3 separate smaller Dark Zones. But hey, that's just me. There's nothing we can do about it now. And then lastly, these are just a couple of things that are kind of just like ticking me off, just kind of annoying me because they aren't in the game already, which I feel like they're probably going to be in the full version when the game comes out on March 12th. But first off, scope sensitivity, that definitely needs to be setting for PC and console users. This is extremely, extremely annoying to deal with, especially when an NPC or any rogue player in general is just straight up rushing at you, especially when you're using a sniper. You're stuck there. I mean, you just can't move fast enough to catch up to someone. And then lastly, the weapon tier colors. If you guys don't know what I mean by weapon tier colors, in Division 1, it would show your 3 weapons that you were actively using when you're swapping weapons in-game. So if you're using like 3 high-end weapons, when you switch weapons in-game, it would have like the background of the high-end orange-yellowish color behind your weapons. And it doesn't do that in this game. I'm not sure if they have any plans to add it, but just for me personally and my preferences, I played Division 1 so much, especially also for me personally, as a viewer standpoint, I think I would want to know, without them having to show their entire setup for like 30 seconds straight, what weapon tier they're using. So like if they have an exotic that they've worked really hard to get, I think that it should show when they're swapping weapons, just so, you know, the overall viewer standpoint knows that they're using an exotic weapon or that they're using a high-end weapon. At least for me, I would want to know that as a viewer watching someone. So getting right into the positives, I'm going to keep this as short and sweet as I possibly can. So right off the bat, obviously Division 2 is a prequel to the first Division, so obviously a lot of things in the game just in general are going to sound, feel, shoot, aim, anything is going to feel pretty darn similar to the first one. But going on to the guns, the sounds, I mean, my god, if you guys have played this game, the beta, even a second of it, you guys will know right off the bat, the very first time you shoot any gun in the game, it is so crisp, so realistic, so bulky, just so brutal compared to the first one. They're so realistic. I love the sounds of every single gun, any gun in the game that I've shot so far, compared to Division 1. In the first one, there were just so many guns that sounded the exact same, and in this one, there is no such thing as any gun sounding the exact same. So next, going on to the new health system or the new armor system along with the new gear sets, the brand sets. I am a very big fan of both of them in my personal opinion. I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan of the high tanking system of health in the first Division. I just didn't like shooting 4 or 5 magazines into someone with any gun in the game and then finally putting them down just to be killed by the same person after their teammate calls in a ult. I didn't like it. I wasn't a fan of it, and I'm extremely impressed with the new armor / health system and not being able to just run around in circles and just heal yourself over and over and over again. And that is where the new brand sets come into play. We no longer have the like 6-piece classified or the 6-piece gear sets anymore in this game. We have something called brand sets, and you're able to get these brand sets in any tier of gear in the game. So you can get it at high end, you can get it at the green, you can get it at superior, you can get it at blue. And these brand sets some of them are actually named, and they are actually pretty decent. I'll probably make a video on those pretty soon, like recommending people to go for specific brand sets when the game actually releases fully in March. So lastly, getting into the new weapon talents and improved gear and the skills overall. Obviously, we've only got to use a couple of skills, I think 3 skills right now. I'm sure they will unlock more as the beta goes on eventually. But the skills seem very useful, very important. They're very powerful, that is for damn sure. If you guys have used a Seeker or got hit by a Seeker, I'm pretty sure you guys are aware how good they are in the Dark Zone. Going on to the gear and weapon talents, pretty much all of them are recreated. They're completely new. There's nothing really, reused from the first Division as far as I know. Nothing's really like the exact same, at least. And then for the cover usage in this game, I mean, obviously, we all know that the first Division was supposed to be a cover-based game. but they didn't quite accomplish that, obviously. But in this game, you guys will quickly figure out that cover is pretty much the only way to survive. It's the only way to regenerate your armor and health, unless obviously you use a full med kit to heal yourself. And then even after that, there's a cooldown and a charge down after you use one. But I am a very, very huge fan of what they implemented in terms of the armor system, and having to basically be forced to use cover, especially when you're in the dark zone going up against maybe like 2 or 3 people in a team. There's really no such thing as being able to tank anymore. Cover is your best friend, and it's going to be extremely useful. That's pretty much the way it's going to work in this game. But yeah, guys, that is pretty much it. I didn't talk about everything that I want to, just because the video would have probably been like 30 or 40 minutes if I did talk about everything that I wanted to. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, make sure you guys drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. I want to know anything you guys are thinking, anything you guys want to talk about, whether it's just a bug or anything that you guys think that you might want to be changed, or anything that you guys thought was a good improvement, or anything in general you guys want to talk about. Make sure you guys leave that down in the comment section below. But thank you guys for watching. I'm extremely excited to be back on YouTube and have a game to be excited about for once in a long time. Yeah, guys, catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.